Hey guys, welcome back. It's me Sahil Mahajan, and in today's video we are going to be talking about IAM policy documents. So in the previous video we discussed about what is IAM, what is your root account, and how can you secure your root account. So in this video we'll be discussing about IAM documents. Let's head right into it. So we know that IAM, that is Identity and Access Management, can basically be used to control permissions. As we discussed last time, like maybe you have a billing department and you only want to give them access to billing, or maybe you have what do you say, a person who wants to access an S3 bucket and you only want to give them access to S3 bucket. So how do these permissions take place? So how do we control permissions using IAM? That's what we're going to look at. So we basically assign permissions in AWS using policy documents. So we have something that's called IAM policy documents, which are basically used to assign such permissions to users or groups. Now, coming down, we see that policy documents are made up of JSON. So basically, these policy documents are JSON documents, we can say. And for the people who do not know what JSON is, JSON basically stands for JavaScript Object Notation. It's quite simple to understand, quite easy to grasp up. So let's dive right into an example so you guys get a better understanding. So let's take a example policy document. So this is an example policy document, as this follows the JSON notation over here. So we have basically two main parts of this policy, and I'll tell you what this policy basically does. This policy basically gives any user or any group to which it's attached to admin access. Basically, a user can do any action on any resource on the AWS platform. So let's walk over this sample policy that we have. So first, you can see over here we have something that says version. So this is basically the policy version. So as you can see over here, we have 2012-10-17. Now this is not something that I have just put up randomly. This is something that AWS does give. To check the latest AWS policy version that is going on, you guys can check on the AWS website, their documentation. So make sure that whatever the latest policy document version is going on is what you input over here as a string. Second is our statement. Now this is where all of the permissions and everything takes place inside statement. So we can see we have one very simple policy over here. We're saying that the effect of this policy is basically allow. So we want to allow it, and our action is a star. So a star basically means everything or all. So we're saying that give this specific user or this specific group the ability to perform any action on the AWS console or the AWS environment as a whole. Now coming down, we have resource. And again, we have a star, which means everything or all, which basically means that allow the user to perform any and all actions on any and all resources available on the AWS platform. So this is a very small IAM policy wherein we are providing admin access to a user or to a group. Now, you guys got a basic understanding on what is policies and how do we write a very basic policy. So policy documents can basically be, I think I forgot to attached. Yep. Policy documents can basically be attached to groups, users, and roles. So we can attach a policy document to maybe groups, users, or roles. Again, we normally do not attach what you say document policy to users, and the reason being that is, as the organization grows, you may have hundreds and thousands of users, and it is not possible to attach a policy to each one of them and maintain it. It becomes less secure. Instead, what we do is we group all these users into groups, and then we attach that specified IAM policy to the group. So for example, again, as we spoke in the previous video and also the beginning of this video, we have a billing department. Now the billing department may have 10 members. Now we don't attach this policy to all of the 10 members. Instead, we will create a group for example, the name of the group is billing department. We will add all of these 10 users to that group, and then this IAM policy will be attached to the group. So for example, in the near future, maybe one person leaves the billing department, or one person gets transferred from billing to admin. Now that person's account is still there, but they do not require the billing department. They do not require billing related information. So what we do is we basically remove that person from this specified group. So now we only have 9 members, and automatically the permissions are removed for that specific users. So I hope you guys got a good understanding on what are policy documents. And now let's dive right into the AWS console, so I can show you guys how where can you find policy documents in AWS and how things work out on a console. Okay guys, so here I am in the AWS console, and now we're gonna head over to IAM. So again, as you can see, I have recently visited IAM over here, so it's available right here. Again, if you guys cannot find IAM, there are basically two ways how you can do it. One is you can go to services, you can scroll down to security, identity, and compliance, and you will see IAM over here. And another more easy method is you can just basically type in IAM and it would pop up from the search box. So let's head over to IAM. So this is going to be your IAM basically, your IAM dashboard. And now on the left panel, you can see policies. We're going to head over to policies. And these are basically all of the policies that are created by AWS or that are defined by AWS itself. You can see there are around 1100 and maybe 60, I believe, because there are a few custom policies that I have created. So we're just going to go over. So for example, as we discussed that in the example policy where you want to provide full access to AWS services and resources, that is the action star and resource star, you can see that there's already a policy over here that says administrator access. So when I click on this policy and we come down, we can see that if this just pops up, you can see that the permissions that are assigned to it, you can click on the JSON, and when we click on JSON, you can see that this is the exact policy example that we looked at, wherein your effect is allow, your action is for all, and your resource is for all. So again, there are quite rare cases maybe where you will require to create policies, because most of the policies and all of the use cases are already defined here by Amazon. So just again, how do you guys know that this is an Amazon created or managed? You can see the type over here that says AWS managed, or you can see this orange color square or cube. This basically cube says that these documents are these policies are created and managed by AWS. So let me head over to the end. I don't think I'll be able to find any so we can see over here there was one custom policy that I had created, which was SRR-S3. SRR basically stands for same region replication, and S3 is S3 bucket. We can see that the type is customer managed, which basically means the customer, is managing it. And then again, I provided a description over here that says same region application for S3. So that's basically how you can create your custom policies, or you can use managed policies that are already created by AWS. I would maybe request you guys, maybe you can go over this, pick up any random policies, go through the policy documents. Of course, I just showed you guys a very basic and simple policy, just so you guys get to know what's the structure of an IAM policy and everything. But yeah, you guys are more than willing free to go around, look at the different policies that are created by AWS, try to understand them, what's happening, what's going on. Of course, we will also be creating our custom policies, so that's another thing that we will be into. So yeah, I think that's about it for this video. So hope you guys did get a good understanding about IAM policy documents, how they are created, how they are structured, where can you find them on the AWS console. So if you guys did like this video, please make sure to leave a like, do subscribe, and do comment if there are any other topics or concepts that you guys would like me to cover. Hope you guys have a great day ahead. See ya. Take care. Bye bye.